Hey everyone, how are you doing today? Today we're diving into the fundamental attribution error. I talk about this a lot in my workshops, and it's a common bias where we overestimate the influence of personality and we underestimate situational factors. Why do we make this mistake sometimes of assuming malicious intentions on the part of someone who gets us upset or makes us feel bad? Instead, we should pause and ask ourselves critical questions so that we don't tell ourselves the wrong story. See, sometimes we tell ourselves a story, we write our own narrative. And sometimes we can be an unreliable narrator. So we sometimes attribute others' actions and behaviors to their character, and we attribute our own actions to external factors. So if I make a mistake, if I'm late to an appointment, I blame it on external factors. Well, I didn't get enough sleep last night, which means I had to hit the snooze button too many times this morning, or there was a lot of traffic on the way to work, and that's why I'm late. Whereas if someone else is late, if a colleague's late, I might think they're lazy. I might think they just don't care, or just inconsiderate people. This happens more than you would think. And you might be falling into this trap more than you think. I know I do. And so I want to give you some tips on how to kind of avoid the situation. The first step is pause. I always say the tactical pause, right? Pause and consider other factors. Before you jump to a conclusion about someone's behavior, ask yourself what external factors might be influencing their actions. So instead of assuming they're lazy or they just don't care, maybe they had a lot going on, or maybe there's something going on at home that's impacting their work performance. The second thing is try to ask questions instead of making assumptions. And I know my initial thought is to make an assumption, right? My initial thought is to judge. And I have to stop myself and instead try to be curious. So engage that curiosity rather than judgment, and asking a simple question like, is everything okay? I notice you seem distracted today. That can reveal a lot about what's going on with that person and help us not to jump to that attribution error. The third thing is to try to practice empathy. I know that I would like people to have empathy for me, depending on the situations. I try to put myself in other people's shoes. I don't do this as much as I would like to or should, but I try to think to myself, okay, if I were in their situation, how would I behave? How would I feel? And the last thing is try to be aware of your own biases. Recognize, first of all, that we all have biases. And the important thing is to try and keep these biases in check so they don't impact how we behave, how we interact with each other. Because it can damage relationships, it can damage teams, it can affect your role as a leader. So I hope you got something out of this. I hope you try to avoid that attribution error as much as possible. And again, just a reminder, be curious, ask questions, and try to suspend those assumptions as much as possible. Hope you have a great day, great rest of the week. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.